Hey everybody, welcome to Brick Vault. This episode is all about the quintessential Gundam, custom built in Lego bricks. We are looking at the minifigure scale RX-78-2 from the 1979 show Mobile Suit Gundam. This samurai-inspired design is so iconic that the giant robot has served as the working blueprint for Gundams for the last 4 decades. Piloted by Amuro Ray for the Earth Federation against the Principality of Zeon, the mobile suit enjoys stronger armor and greater speeds that give it the edge against much larger enemy forces. This custom Lego model designed by my brother Charlie has an opening cockpit and includes the beam rifle, beam saber, shield, and display stand. Before I go any further into the details and functions of this model, first I do want to say that if you wanted to build this creation for yourself, you can get the instructions and parts list at our web store, brickvault.toys. Included with each purchase is the PDF step-by-step building guide, a digital parts list for quickly uploading and ordering all the pieces you'll need. All of our models are built in real life and then tested for strength. The instructions are tested so they're easy to follow along. If you wanted to print stickers for extra detailing, we've also included a pre-sized PNG too, and it's an absolute blast getting to work with awesome builders from all over the world, as well as create custom projects of our own. Charlie has really got some cool models in the store, including the Leo from Gundam Wing if you wanted to make a crossover Gundam scene. In a world with legions of giant robots, the RX-78-2 reigns supreme. Mostly built in white, it's an incredibly flashy model with only bright prime colors to accent the head, torso, and feet. Many of the design elements present in this mobile suit became staples of the Gundam look that ultimately separates a Gundam from the practically uncountable iterations of other kinds of robots out there. To name a few elements, you've got some shapes on the face and especially the samurai-like pointy helmet ornament. In the middle, there is the kusazuri, or the flared skirt-like armor that spreads out at the bottom of the torso, and along the legs you have the high knee plating, large smooth calves, and beefy ankle guards. Not only are all of these elements present in the Lego creation, but when my brother started out this design, his goal was to get the mobile suit as proportionately accurate as possible. The basic height and width was established to fit with a minifigure, and then piece by piece, shape by shape, each element of the body was meticulously portioned out to match with the exact specs of the original design. For the size, Lego bricks simply can't get much more accurate than this model. Alright, so let's start by breaking down its functions and interactive features. Firstly, the cockpit opens out and up along the double hinge connection. There isn't too much to see on the inside, but the sitting pilot can be extracted with a control console attached to his feet. There is no studding here, but the placement for the fig is plenty solid. On the back, you can see the handles for 2 beam sabers. Either one can be removed from the ball pin, and then you can attach the assembly for the glowing blade. It's a solid build that won't break under its own weight, and the handle itself doesn't stud into the hand of the model, which has both advantages and disadvantages. The saber can be more easily knocked out of the model's grip, so remember this is really just a display model, but at the same time, the beam saber can be held at more extreme and dynamic angles, which gives you a lot more posing options. You can see some of my favorites here, but I'll get more into the posing after we cover the accessories. Next up is the beam rifle. It's got some odd shapes for sure for a sci-fi gun, and I like that the big yellow viewfinder can pivot a little bit just like you see in the show. In order to equip the weapon to the Gundam, one single piece on the arm is replaced here to add a couple extra studs for attaching the rifle directly to the Gundam. This takes the grip pressure off of the hand and ultimately makes the connection much stronger. Personally, this is my favorite accessory or weapon for the model. When I imagine the RX-78-2 in my head, it's usually holding a beam rifle. And while I'm at it, it is actually often holding a shield. So let's add this on now. It is pretty darn large and heavy, so in order for the Gundam to hold it, it doesn't actually hold it. Similar to the beam rifle, one piece is removed from the shoulder armor and replaced by two others. This allows for a very strong mixel connection, so it's got no chance really of it breaking away, and it's also very easy to pivot the shield when it's connected in this manner. It is a pretty striking design, something like a cross between a riot shield and a medieval tower shield, but built almost exclusively in bright red with a big yellow cross. Generally, the model is a little more restricted with the shield attached due to the drastic weight imbalance, so you are limited with posing possibilities somewhat, but even so, there are definitely some solid looks you can pull off here. Now, to fully address the posing, let's go over limb articulation real quick. The head turns, it can go a full 360 degrees if you want. Then the shoulders have two different kinds of joints. There are 3 axes of articulation in total here. So not only does the shoulder move up and down and spin, but the arm can move out independently as well. This makes the figure massively more expressive in my opinion. The elbow bends, the wrist also rotates, and the fingers can articulate as well. Staying by the hand, the wrist also has a little bit of vertical play on the mixel joint, and while we're here, the thumb can also move up and down too. So there's quite a bit of subtle articulation right at the extremities. Moving over to the hips, they connect the legs with axle balls, so they can go basically in any direction. Then the knees ratchet around with a lot of friction, and there is another multi-axis ball joint at the ankles. Long story short, this Lego model is given a lot of freedom to create different stances, and with the height changing stand that connects the model with an axle pin, you can make safe adjustments to the limbs without a chance of it falling over. What's great is that a lot of the different poses can be achieved without that final support for the stabilizing stand, but it really just often comes down to your comfort level when moving a large creation around like this. I've been having a lot of fun creating different positions for this figure. The variability with joint movements can help capture a realistic looking energy that is just as important as getting the details right. Now, for any bipedal build with a lot of joint movement, this is certainly an expert level creation that takes a little bit of time to learn all the correct ways on how to handle this particular figure. That is, generally speaking, a classic trade-off that you get for custom creations, and I'm really curious to know what you guys think about this model, so let me know in the comments below. If you did want to build this creation for yourself, remember the instructions can be found at our web store, www.brickvault.toys. Obviously, let me know what types of other models you'd like to see built in the studio next. If you enjoy our content, feel free to like, subscribe, comment, share, do whatever it is that you want to do, and we'll see you next time at Brick Vault.